All right, so you clicked on this video, which means you have two questions. Number one, can you edit videos on the MacBook Neo? And number two, who's that charming fellow right here?
Okay, you're delusional.
Well, my name is Alex and I talk about tech, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see more in-depth talks about tech. I'm also a wordsmith, apparently. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the MacBook Neo and putting it through its paces in terms of video editing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into DaVinci Resolve and I'm going to load up one of my latest projects, which is going to include a lot of 4K footage as well as a bunch of effects, some of which are pretty light, some are pretty heavy. So that should give us a pretty good idea of what kind of workflow you can and can't do on the MacBook Neo. Now, I've seen a few videos out there saying, yeah, you can absolutely edit 4K videos on it, but all they've done is basically throw one or two tracks in there and then said, yep, it plays back perfectly. And that's not really, in my mind, representative of how you would actually work with this. I don't care so much about export speeds and stuff like that. For me, the important thing is what is the actual workflow like? So I'm going to open up DaVinci Resolve, and what you're going to see here is going to be pretty close to what you can do in Final Cut as well. I don't have Final Cut. As far as I know, it's very well optimized for MacBooks, so I assume it might run even slightly better, if anything. DaVinci Resolve, in terms of the quality of the footage you're going to be looking at, it can play back at full resolution, half resolution, or quarter resolution, whereas Final Cut has two options called quality and performance. I think we're going to get into all of that, but let's just load up this project. So this is about an 11.5-minute video with several 4K tracks, some of it 4K 30, some of it 4K 60. I have effects on almost all of it. There's some transitions, some text effects, and so on. Some of it's pretty light, some of it's pretty heavy. So first thing we're gonna do is just scrub through the timeline. Well, let's just check to see if it's actually, yeah, it's at full resolution right now. So this is the full 4K that you're seeing right now. And scrubbing through is pretty good, actually. Just gonna turn off the sound. We don't need to hear two of me. One is plenty, according to my wife.
She's a very wise woman and she's never wrong.
Yeah, it scrubs through fine at full resolution. Again, it seems silly to talk about 4K footage on the tiniest window on a screen that's already not that large. But it does actually seem to scroll through it perfectly. Now, as far as playback, can we go somewhere and play? Play. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Again, there are effects on some of these things. And, oh, right now it is going a little slow. And there it picked up again. So it's doing 30 frames per second when it's just one or two video files. This is two 4K tracks on top of each other, 4K 30. No problem, 30 frames per second, no problem. But when we add a little bit of text, I have scrolling text here, and you can see if I make it large, it does struggle to actually play it back. It plays it back at about 14 frames per second. So already we are seeing some limitations, but again, this is a pretty large project. It's about 32 gigabytes of files all in all. So the fact that it is playing back a little slowly, I don't think is all that surprising, again, on a $600 or $500 MacBook. But for the most part, we can scroll through and it will start playback almost immediately. Now, if we go to a part that's a little heavier, I did this same test with the same video on the M4 MacBook Air, and it completely fell apart during the intro, where I have a couple of transitions that are pretty heavy, as well as some text effects. And you can see here, it has no idea how to handle this. There's some text with transitions on them every couple of frames, basically. And yeah, it cannot play this back properly. But this is at full resolution, full 4K 30 with some pretty heavy transitions. And even the M4 MacBook Air was struggling at this part. It was getting about 5 frames per second. This is getting about 3.5 frames per second. So it's not great at handling these heavy workflows. But again, I go to any part that's just video and it actually plays it back perfectly. Now, this is what I was talking about when people said, yeah, you can edit 4K videos on this, no problem. Yeah, you can edit 4K videos without a bunch of effects. Absolutely. It should be able to do that without even stuttering once, because all of these parts where it's just an image or a video, yeah, it is handling it damn near perfectly. Like as well as it could, honestly. This is as good as the M4 Air in that particular instance. However, as soon as we do anything, you can see here, we actually have just video, and then it's gonna go to a photo where I have an effect where it's framed and it's zooming in slowly on that photo. And as suspected, it does stutter just a little bit. It's a little hard to tell here, but it does stutter. This is all, again, on full quality with 0 proxies, no rendering whatsoever. So honestly, this is not the type of workflow that you should be using on a machine like this. Even on the M4 MacBook Air or the M5 MacBook Air for that matter, playing everything back at the highest quality with no proxies and no render caching, that doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be doing that. You should at the very least lower the quality, use proxies or render cache some of the footage, because these computers, as good as they are, that is still very taxing, especially if you're doing 4K footage. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn the playback down to half. And now we can see if we scrub through, it's actually a lot more responsive, to be honest. Not that it wasn't responsive just scrubbing it before, but now it's practically instantaneous. When I press play and I scrub, I'm looking, if I look just at the video parts, again, it's handling everything flawlessly. There's some adjustment layers on this. I forgot to mention, all of this has also been color graded on top of everything else. So there is a lot going on, and there's sound effects as well. So it's not like this is a simple project. I would say it's about mid, which some people would say that for all of my videos. In terms of complexity, it's not the most complex thing in the world that I'm doing, but it's also not super simple. So it's just to give you an idea. But again, with half resolution, playing back, let's see, there's some, yeah, this, oh, even, oh, sorry, that actually surprised me a little bit. So I have, this is just a video with a little bit of an overlay. Here's a text effect, and it does do a slight bit of stuttering, but it's not much. It's actually handling that really well. Let me try another part where it has some of that same, you know, here we have the intro. Okay, it did stutter a little bit here. I had some speed ramping, I had some, you know, but look at this part here. Yeah, okay, a slight bit of stutter still, but again, this is 4K footage at half resolution. And again, it looks perfectly fine. I say half resolution. When you play it back here, it still looks very, very good. So overall, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This is actually running pretty well at just half resolution. This is the same text crawl with a little bit of zoom that was making it struggle before at full resolution, but at half resolution, it is actually just playing it 30 frames per second. Flawless. Okay, did stutter a little bit here. I had both a panel push in and also a text stuttering or glitching effect at the same time, but it's playing at about 27 frames per second, which is still very close to real-time playback. And again, no proxies, no pre-rendering. Actually, this is surprisingly good, I won't even lie. I would still think you should put the resolution down to 1/4 when you're working. So let's try to do that. And let's see, first of all, regular scrubbing. Okay, scrubbing is flawless now, I would say, more or less, you know. This is as good as you can get with the scrubbing, honestly. And yeah, of course, playback is gonna be fine on any regular video part, but let's try some of that. Okay, still a slight bit of stutter when I have this heavy effect. To be fair, even on my M4 MacBook Air, which I've been using for the past year to edit all my videos, there is still a tiny bit of stutter. It's a little more pronounced here, definitely. Again, this machine cost half as much as the M4 MacBook Air did for me. So I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. Look, there's a little bit of a, I've noticed this now, but it also does this on my M4 sometimes. If I just go full screen and I play, it's fine. But if I jump back and forth between full screen and not, it does stutter for like a second before it picks it up. So this is, let's just see it. Yeah, the text crawl, everything. Of course, you need to be conscious of the fact that when you're watching things at a lower resolution, it will change some of the stuff that you see on the screen. So this text right here is gonna have a very thick outline But when you render it out, it's gonna look the same as it does in full resolution, where it has barely any outline. Just something to be conscious about when you are working with files like this. The same thing if you're using proxies. It might look slightly lower quality when you're working in here, but when you render it out, it's gonna look perfect. People who've been editing videos have been using proxies, pre-rendering, or playback at lower qualities for years, decades even, because up until recently, making 4K videos on a laptop, again, mind you, this is a laptop that's not even plugged into anything. This is on battery power. So doing this on a laptop that's not even plugged in, a few years ago, you couldn't even dream of doing this. But we're now at a point where a $600 laptop can actually provide you with the means to make YouTube videos or any other videos that you want to make. Realistically, you shouldn't buy this if you want to really be serious about video editing. You honestly should probably look at the M5 MacBook Air or the M4, get that refurbished or on sale at close to the same price as this. That probably is a better deal overall. I'll talk about that when I do a full review of the Neo, but can you edit videos on this? Can you edit decently complex videos on this? Yeah, you actually can. If you use a couple of workarounds, if you actually are content with the fact that you won't be able to watch the whole thing in full quality without using proxies or rendering or whatever. Like, as long as you know what to expect, you absolutely can do this. Again, people were editing videos on the M1 MacBook Air, and people are saying this has roughly the same level of performance as the M1 MacBook Air. It actually has better single core performance, but about the same overall performance. And people were editing videos on those things. Yes, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. I know, oh my God, in 2026, but it utilizes that very well. Of course, this is why you will see some slowdowns, because it's going to swap memory from the hard drive instead of just accessing it with the fast memory that RAM has. So that is why you'll occasionally see slowdowns or something like that. So here, I actually have a part that has a bunch of effects. Well, this is just some old footage of me, but I have a background effect and a second background effect. And these are, I won't say heavy, but they're midway heavy, I would say. Then I have stuff coming up. Yeah, it is absolutely struggling right now to play this back. That is definitely for sure. Again, this is pretty simple video footage, but with 2 heavy effects on it. When I play this on my M4 Air at a quarter quality, it can play it back. Here, it is definitely struggling. If you're the type who is going to use a lot of heavy effects, I don't think I would recommend the MacBook Neo for video editing. But if you want to make just simple YouTube videos or simple-ish YouTube videos, or you want to make TikTok videos or anything like that, YouTube shorts, whatever, this thing can absolutely do it. And again, mind you, I could just render cache this part of the video and this wouldn't even be an issue. It would actually handle it just fine. So even if you want to do heavier stuff, you absolutely can do it on this. You just have to work a little bit harder for it, if you know what I mean. I would say if you think you're gonna do something midway heavy, something akin to the videos I do, or something with lots of different graphics and effects playing at the same time, I would definitely recommend getting at least the Air, if not the Pro. But I think the Pro should mostly be for people who actually make some type of income from making videos, which technically I also do, but it's not enough to justify buying a Pro. Of course, if you just have the cash to spend and you just want the best of the best, buy a Pro. Easy, simple. The Pros are just better. They are ridiculously good. The Air, it will do more than enough, even if you have a heavy-ish workflow. But I think a lot of people could absolutely make do with the Neo. Now, you shouldn't buy this for video editing. If you just need one machine to edit videos and nothing else, you're not buying this. You should buy an Air. Buy an M4 Air on sale or refurbished if you can for like $700 or so. That would be a perfect deal. If you just need a new laptop for studying or for web browsing or work or whatever, but you also want to be able to edit videos every now and then, the MacBook Neo is actually surprisingly capable. It does have limitations and you will feel those limitations. But again, you can edit videos on this. You just have to be aware of what that actually means and how your workflow is going to be. But that's it for this time. Do give the video a thumbs up if this was useful, and well, you could do it anyway, I don't mind. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more unbiased tech talks or reviews. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.